Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. It is Thursday, June 6th. We've got a great show lined up for you today. The European Central Bank's cutting their interest rates by 0.25 basis points. Is that a precursor to what we could see coming up ahead with the United States? We're going to be taking a look at that. Plus, Robinhood just acquired Bitstamp for $200 million. What does this mean for Robinhood's offering of altcoins? And Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, saying $350,000 Bitcoin in August, guys. Let's get this and a whole lot more today on Piper Academy. Classes in session. Guys, welcome to the show. I am Army Piper, and this is Piper Academy. We come at you every single Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Guys, also, in the chat, let me know what you guys think of that new little intro there in between the what's on today's show. And, hey, here I am. We changed it. Used to be that little Bitcoin thing. Now it's a little play on, some classroom stuff. So let me know what you guys think of that. Should I go back? Do you like the new one? Because, at the end of the day, it's your show. I'm just here to give you guys some entertainment during it, but I don't do it by myself. I have a great team. It is Trade Fly, OC guy, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. Let's bring them up. What's up, fellas? It is Thursday. Let's get it.
I just want to let you guys know, my man has been singing this all morning. Like, before the show, during the show, he's not letting it go. But, I want to get over to the chat, say what's up to everybody. Let's see who's in there. Justin Eubanks, how you doing? Crypto Trades, I missed you yesterday, man. What's up, player? How you doing? All right, Alexander G, best mod in the house. Museum of Corruption. What's going on? I think this is the first time I've seen you in here. Speed, username, BC Port Corp. That's Blackie Chan. Crypto, Pollo, Cluck Cluck. How you doing? French Toaster, Ola, my friend Alex. Oh, Crypto, my brother from another mother. How you doing? Ninja, Glock.
Hold on. You can't say Alex
flow, baby.
I know you were, bro. I know you were, but then you messed it up with Alex O Crypto's name. It's Alex O Crypto. You gotta do it that way every time.
All right. Throw some others in the chat, damn it. All right, here we go. Moving on. Damn, I don't even know where I was now. All right. Amy Lives Crypto. How you doing? Hey, she's got a channel. Get over there. Check her out. Keeping the flow going here. French Toaster already got you. C90 for the win. Ricketts, how you doing? Harp, how you doing? And I think that's it. I think I got everyone. If I didn't say Crux,
yeah, that's my alumni. Man, you know what I mean.
Crux working in the background. Yeah. Let's go. Let's get it.
That's ZTS. That's ZTS Rhythm. Rhythm. What's up, OC guy? What's up, man? How you doing?
Not much. Just having a wonderful morning today. It seems to be perfect out there. So maybe I just walk out and touch some grass today after the show. And I love that.
I'm just gonna walk out and just pee on the grass. It's a good early morning.
Jesus.
I know the balcony.
Today's my last day on vacation for this leg of it. Tomorrow we pack up and head to Manhattan, Kansas. Spend a day or so there with my mother-in-law, who's been on the trip with us. It's been a great trip so far. And then Sunday we head to the casino, which is not crypto, the non-crypto casino, for about 3 days or so. And then I'll be back in the studio. So it's a beautiful day here today too. So it's good. How's the weather in California? It's mudslides, fires. Like what you got going on in California today?
Actually, funny thing is there are some fires. I was driving home and there was 2 fires on the way home. So the helicopters are flying over, dumping whatever chemicals they're dumping on the fires to try to put them out. I actually wanted to do that at one point when I was getting out of the military. One of the things I wanted to transition to was actually working for Cal Fire. That was something that was on the list of things to do. However, you guys know the route that I took. So here I am.
Very true. Very true. All right, let's get into all of this. Let's get into all this data today, guys, because we got a lot of stuff to unpack and unravel, and we're going to be looking at charts. There's a lot going on. We did get new job numbers that I told you guys were coming out today. The unemployment for the week, so we're going to be looking at that too. But if you haven't done so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell, and share this with a friend because sharing is caring, and it helps us, and you'll feel better about it. Feel good about yourself today. Share the video. Looking at extreme greed, guys, at 78 here on Bitcoin. The fear and greed index is we're pegged. We are pegged high. So be very careful. Be very, very careful. Looking at the daily here on crypto bubbles, guys. Brett up 26.6%. I don't know if you guys saw my trade. It was like 160% on a 3x leverage. It was beautiful. I did close out partial. And took some profit because, nobody's ever gone broke taking profit. You can see here, Flare up 10.5%, Injective up 5.3%. What else we got here that's moving, not up 8%. Caspa down 5.6%, but that's okay. It had a nice pump. It needs to cool off a little bit. Polkadot has moved up. What's that?
I said bye.
Bye. Polkadot has moved up one position here to number 13. Toncoin still sitting in number 9, making it into the top 10. We got some news on Dogecoin too, guys. We're going to be talking about that here in a bit too. Let's see. Like everything's looking pretty good on the daily here. Uniswap down 3.7%. Big movers today. Really, it's Brett and Knot and Flare. So on the hourly, if we drop over here to the hourly, you can see Sandus making some move, 2.9%. Stacks pulling back 4% for the biggest mover in the past hour. So jumping over here into the liquidation chart, guys, let's give it a refresh. Let's get fresh. We do have in the past 24 hours.
One thing I want to ask you about, because just coming off the circles here, does anybody notice that this is starting to feel eerily like a couple years ago where things are finally starting to diverge and move at different times? And it's like you're truly starting to find investments in projects that are, I'm not going to say worth a crap, but it's almost like whack-a-mole again, where everything's just moving at different times and like it's like one will pop off one day and then the next day something else pops off and you're like, damn, I missed that one. And then so it's like you have to have exposure to a lot of things vice trying to chase the different projects.
That's why I have almost 30 tokens.
yeah. But it just feels like a couple years ago, like, because I would say for the past year, maybe not so much the last 6 months, but everything seemed to have been moving together. Like everything was moving up and down, just kind of following Bitcoin all over the place. And it seems I'm starting to feel some divergence. It's just a personal thing. I don't see all of the bubbles being the same color anymore. So just want to point that out. Small observation.
We're starting to see that utility cycle going on where you got your memes and then you got we're starting to see that altcoin subsections of altcoins move in pairs, right? So it is interesting though, and figuring out that rhythm. That's where it's at. So
rhythm.
Rhythm. That's right. In the past 24 hours, guys, 36,394 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at 98.2 million. Not that much, pretty low, but we did have a big Bitcoin liquidation on Bybit. It was $8.8 million. So the last 24 hours, guys, you can see here almost even on shorts and longs. It's just been kind of sideways, little spike up, little spike down, pretty much in the same area. So jumping over, taking a look at the economic calendar, guys, there's some big news in here today. So bear with me. We're going to break this down. First, I want to come up here and I want to go to countries, and we're going to add the Euro area in here. And then we're going to take a look at that because some things happened here on the Euro. ECB interest rate decision. You guys can see they were at 4.5. They had a consensus and forecast that they were going to cut rates. The European Central Bank has officially cut interest rates by 0.25%. And we're going to be watching closely now because I looked at the FOMC. I'm not ready to bring that one up and show it today because I don't think the data has calculated into it yet. But we're going to be taking a look at that FOMC data tomorrow morning to take a look and see, hey, are we projecting any rate cuts any sooner now in the United States? There is some data on that I will talk about in a second also. Let's go in here. Let's remove Euro. There you go. Now let's look at just what I have here on the U.S., guys. We have exports and imports, first of all. On exports and imports, you can see here that we've actually did increase our exports, so which was actually projected to be lower, came in higher. And then we had $338.2 billion in imports, which was actually higher than what it was. So this is giving us data that there is projections that we will see the economy still buying and selling a lot of goods, even though retail is going down. I think this is a lagging indicator. We're going to see this play out and drop on the next report of imports and exports for next month. However, looking at initial jobless claims here, guys, this is how many people filed for unemployment. Remember that. Previously, we were at 221,000. Consensus and forecast was that it would be 220,000. Well, we came in at 229,000 people filing for unemployment in this past week. And if we jump in here and take a look at what it says, the number of people claiming unemployment benefits in the U.S. jumped by 8,000 to 229,000 on the week ending June 1st, well above the market expectation of 220,000, to the record highest reading since the 8-month high of 232,000 from early May. In the meantime, outstanding claims unexpectedly rose to 1.7, almost 1.8 million in the earlier week, the highest in 7 weeks. The results were further evidence of a softening of the U.S. labor market. So we did get some job numbers, but we had import-export numbers that kind of countered how those would play out in the market. Tomorrow, guys, as we've been saying, all eyes right here on this unemployment rate coming in tomorrow morning, and we're going to be bringing that to you guys right here on the show. So let's jump over to X marks the spot because I got a couple of things to touch on in here, and then we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart. So this here, right there we go. Kabisi letter. Let's show more, and then let's show more. Can you show more? Can you show more? Where did you? There it goes. I zoomed in too quick, too soon, man. So just in, markets have now priced in an additional rate cut in 2024, with prediction markets now showing 2 rate cuts for the United States this year. Meanwhile, odds of another rate hike this year are down to 8%. The odds of 0 rate cuts in 2024 has dropped to just 28%, and the odds of just 1 rate cut are down to 25%. So the market movers are now projecting that we will see 1, very likely, possibly 2 rate cuts in 2024. So once again, the markets are beginning to buy into the Fed pivot narrative, even as inflation is back on the rise. This comes after the Bank of Canada cut their interest rates yesterday, and then Europe today. So very interesting move there taking place with interest rate cuts. And then also, guys, NVDA, just 3% away right now from being the most valuable publicly traded company in the world. The stock is up another 2% pre-market. It's now open. We're going to be looking at that today too. It's up 35% for the last month. Will NVIDIA pass Microsoft this week as the most valuable publicly traded company? It is currently over $1,200 per share. So is that what I had there on those? Is there anything else in X marks the spot? I don't think so. We know about the labor market getting weak, and we know about that. That's it. Let's go back to TriCam. Cool. Guys, NVIDIA, let's talk about that for a second. It is doing stupid, astronomical, very mean coin things. But at the end of the day, probably one of the most important companies right now for technological growth. So are we going to see like $1,500 NVIDIA coming soon to a theater near you? Or, remember, you only have, in order to have your stock, you have to have it in there by tomorrow market close in order to be effective and affected by the 10-to-1 split that's coming on Monday morning. So if you have 1 share, you'll have 10 shares Monday morning at a tenth of the price that it was. And then, of course, because it's a lower price, it does entice people who want to buy it because it looks cheaper. It's just a psychological thing. TradeFly, what you got for it?
So 2 things. I have mixed emotions on NVIDIA, right? It's very, very high. I would say we're bordering that value discussion of like, are we overvalued? And there are concerns there, right? Because I mean, I know chips are important. I know AI is important, but like, what is is it really providing all that utility like time now? I'm not sure. So there's some concerns there. And what happens if we have, some kind of issue with importing or actually manufacturing the chips? That we go through phases where we have chip shortages and things of that nature. So it's a little crazy the trajectory that NVIDIA is on to me. I don't know that I'm completely 100% in on it, but stock splits. Let's talk that. I actually did buy more Apple right before it split, and that paid off pretty well for me. Because like you said, it opened up the opportunity for people in retail to continue to invest, right? Because when they see that, even though you can buy portions of stock, when they see that value, they're instantly turned off and they look for something cheaper, like a meme coin or something like that. That's why you see those things pop, because people will rush into those because it's sub dollar. And they're like, oh, if I get 1 million of these, I hold 1 million PayPay, I'm going to be a millionaire if it goes to $1. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yep.
that's the mindset. So, that could be an interesting play, to be honest with you. Maybe, if you think that's going to be a big factor, then that could be an opportunity for you. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing to remember too, with something like NVIDIA is people aren't buying it today based on what it's doing today. They're buying it based on what they speculate it will be worth tomorrow.
I agree with you. And I think you're probably one of the first people I've heard actually say that, because that's what reality is. Like, what it's doing today is not what it's going to be doing tomorrow. But we don't know necessarily what it's going to do tomorrow. We're just thinking we know what it's going to do tomorrow. So that's my concern. Like, that's why I loved Apple when I invested in 2009, because I could see tangibly, I could see everyone with the iPhones. I could see everyone with an iPad, or not an iPad, the iPod at that time.
The iPod.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone had iPods. And then Macs were just running rampant around campus. And they were closing deals with different colleges that they were actually going to issue MacBooks at some point. So I was like, okay, let me do a deep dive, because this is what you guys need to do. Like, if you really want to heavily invest in these companies and not just be a speculative play, do some actual research. And then when I did that into Apple, what I found out is they are one of the only companies, and at that time they were the only top 5 company that did not have debt on the books. Let that sink in. And I was like, yep, I'm in.
Here's the big one. So I'm super bullish on NVIDIA, and a lot of people are. Obviously, they just surpassed Apple, right? But here's the big thing that I am worried about when it comes to NVIDIA is AMD does a lot of the same stuff. They may not do it as well as NVIDIA right now, but that only takes one engineer at AMD to go, I got it. This is how we do this better. And then you'll see a lot of money flush from the big competitor to the underdog, right? And people like to invest in underdogs and make money on it. So I am closely watching AMD also to see if they start to tick up. Do I need to cross load a lot of my gains from NVIDIA over there to AMD? So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing to keep an eye out for, and you see this a lot in the defense industry, is they will mass hire individuals from these companies and bring them over to increase their capability to produce whatever's the hot thing at that time. And so keep an eye on that, but also keep an eye on this. When companies get this large and there's such demand for their products, they will subcontract out. When they start doing that, those smaller companies are the ones you want to look at, because they will have the explosive growth. So again, NVIDIA is great, but also look at the companies that fall underneath the NVIDIA for, your bigger movements. That's, there's a little, tidbit for you to look out for.
Absolutely. And shout out to Reggie Classics in the chat. He literally, as I was saying, the thing about AMD popped on with more growth potential. And then he said, maybe move over to AMD instead. And then as I was saying it, that popped in, and he said, great minds think alike. Good job, Reggie. You're on it, man. You're on it. You don't need me. You got this.
I would bring Reggie in on a little discussion for our Discord, because, dude, did you see some of the trades he posted?
Yeah, he's killing it, man.
1,000% bangers. Yo,
Yeah, well, you know he's a chart primer, man. He's primed. He's been over there learning from OC guy for a long time. If you guys don't know, you can
yeah.
learn how to use chart prime indicators that we use and how to apply it to other traditional indicators in the chart prime Discord, and you get in there by joining Chart Prime. It's really, really cheap for a monthly subscription to Chart Prime, and you get like 28 hours a month of classroom instruction with OC and another guy who might be in the chat. You may know him, Alex O Crypto. So they are instructors over at Chart Prime. So you can get 45% off down below. She'll complete. Guys, let's jump over to my chart and let's take a look at Bitcoin, because that's what the
we do
thumbnail is
TA
today.
here. Jeez.
We do TA
right.
here every now and then. Every now and then we do some technical analysis.
All right. Fair
So,
enough.
but I'm not the doctor of TA though. There's a doctor and he sits right below me, right there. So, hey, let's look at Bitcoin here, guys. Currently at 71,284. We did have a wick up here yesterday. And what was the high on this? Let's see here. The high on that was 71. Looks like 71.6 in that ballpark there. Actually, it's 71.8. I couldn't read that number. I can see that number. 71,800. I still do think we're going to see a $74,000 Bitcoin, as I've talked about all week long. It's going to be right up here at 887. Yep, shock. When you look at what we have here on this, guys, we are starting to get curvature on the oscillator pro ribbon from Chart Prime. We are starting to get another green candle here on the RSI primed, which is shocking because you would have thought this thing was going to go down and we were going to get a pullback and maybe consolidate at about 70,500. All we did is wick down to it and bounce, and now we're starting another curve here. So it is looking pretty decent right now. Let's take a look at the daily and see how it's looking, because the daily is going to tell us another story here, guys. And the story that it's telling is we still have plenty of upside movement here, which is madness, because we can really take this RSI primed all the way up to about 95, which is much higher. And then we still got this entire region of the oscillator pro ribbon that it can just continue up. We got a good angle on it. We had a nice bounce on the zero line. I do think that I think that we break 72,000 today. And at 72,000, guys, if you take a look here at the 72,000 line, it's going to be higher than what we had here on Tuesday, 21 May. And it's going to put us, slow down, sir. It's going to put us back here above these candle close ranges that we had back in April and back in March. So I think if we close above that and then we can hold and retest the $72,000 range as support, we are setting ourselves up for maybe a little consolidation and then a continuation to the upside. But again, if we don't hit 74,000, you can go back over to TriCam, and then we'll kick it over to the heat map for TradeFly. If we don't hit 74,000, guys, by next Wednesday, and Jerome Powell comes out with some very hawkish speak, then we will likely be on hold for that $74,000 call. I do think that it has a timeline of expiration. So, TradeFly, you got anything to say before we kick it over to your heat map?
Nah, man, I was just looking at Bitcoin on the chart, but yeah, let's get over to the heat map here.
Let's do it.
So, I zoomed in a little bit. I was trying to scroll down. There we go. All right. So looking at the liquidation heat map on the 3-day. So we talked about this liquidity. We said this liquidity right here was alligator close to the boat. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a lot of people playing the shorts, but the market maker said he wanted it. So he went up and grabbed it because that was the liquidity that was close. But look how hot it's getting right here. We talked about this area yesterday. All right. So now you can see like different areas. I mean, 500 million, 500, more than 500 million, more than 500 million. So you got more than probably a couple $1 billion worth of liquidity sitting around 68, we'll say 550 to about 68K. All right. So there's a lot of liquidity sitting down there. But that being said, you guys are gluttons for punishment. And I won't say you guys as our guys, but I will say retail, because look at this, man. It's another hot spot building up, and they just keep shorting. Every time we make a move up, look, you can see liquidity builds up, make a move up, liquidity builds up, make a move up, liquidity builds up. So somebody is a glutton for punishment. And yes, you will be right. Eventually, it's got to pull back at some point. But here you go again. Here's your next hotspot, and you can see as you scroll through it, there's probably another billion and a half dollars of liquidity sitting just around 72K. So that is the alligator closest to the boat. That would be
How
the
much?
easiest way to clear out. Yeah, go ahead.
How much is sitting there? How much is sitting there?
It's probably billion and a half to maybe a couple billion if you add it all up. So right around 72K.
Okay, yeah, because we actually had Crypto Pollo said, I hope you point out about the $6 billion in short liquidations sitting above our heads. Crypto Pollo, what level is that? What price level are you seeing that at? And on
You could,
what,
if you add
time frame?
all this up, that's definitely that could be more accurate. So I'm taking a little bit tighter of an area. So I mean, I'm just looking at like 72K to like 72.2. I mean, and you can see right here, 72.2 is 337. You got 412, 504, 474, 392, 356, 395. I mean, once you add it all up, yeah, it's a significant amount. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a wick up to at least grab that liquidity at a minimum. But I mean, it's tough to say. There's a lot of times where I say, okay, the charts are telling me one thing, but the liquidity is sitting there for the maker to grab. So I would say, hey, look for a wick up. But right now we have very bullish structure kind of going into this. So it's really tough to say that we would even see a wick up. We might just see a move up and just everyone's happy at that point, maker and retail, because maker gets his liquidity and then, we like price action to go up. So we'll see. I got no big call on that one, but just know where the liquidity is sitting. Know that is closer to price action than what's down here. So
Crypto Pollo said you're 100% correct. That is what it is. It's a total of all of those together up there. So
yeah,
awesome.
There you
go. Good, clean info there. Oh, see, guy, what do you got? What are you seeing on Bitcoin, man? Let's get to that, and then let's talk about Doge for a minute. Since we're on a speculation talk today, let's talk about Doge speculation. So let's go ahead and jump into your Bitcoin, though. See what you're seeing there, Doctor of TA.
Absolutely, a little bit of spaghetti today, but like we keep track on what is going on, what is happening. As you can see yesterday on Chart Prime's class, I was also teasing with the idea of a possible pullback, right? Remember that yesterday I mentioned that I am bullish on Bitcoin, and my first target somewhere around 76, 700, and then my next target it's around 89, right? Why? Because I'm waiting for the SOS breakout. And it seems like we're trying to make the push on daily. But if we go to the 4 hour, let me go very quick to the 4 hour. Here we go. And let's ignore a little bit all of this mess. All right. I will see that we have a bearish divergence in here and we're going for the red area. So that indicates to me that we could be maybe having a pullback, which, by the way, we had a small pullback yesterday. All right. And we could be looking at a farther, bigger pullback all the way down to this lower range area, right? Remember what happened in here all across this area right down here. Everybody was looking at a triangle, right? And I was saying, no, it's not a triangle, it is a range. The same thing could be happening at this area right here, that we could be looking at this possible triangle getting ready to burst up, right? But it could be a range, so not scratching that out of the equation. And right now it could be an excellent point to make that retracement. Why? Because everybody is a little bit bullish on charts, right? So also, guys, remember I am bullish also on Bitcoin, but since Straight Flight and Piper are also bullish, it is going to be my job today to analyze the bearish scenario. So
can I get
what
a bear
happens
call?
if you have that pullback? Yeah, absolutely. So remember that we always there we go. We always try to cover all holes that we can, right? I mean, when we have a TA, we need to cover our backs, and this is gonna be one of those. What happens if everything goes against what we are looking forward to? So first area of entry of support is gonna be at the center of the range where we have seen previous support and resistance. That is always around, and you can see my alert right there, 66,388, and then the next one will be a 60K 500. Just so you guys be aware, I already have a couple open orders up there down there in those areas, just in case that we have a quick liquidity grab and then burst up. Before I throw it back to you guys, just a quick mention to SPY or SPY. We hit an alarm down here for an entry. We saw this on May the 30th, and now we're hitting one of our alerts for taking profits as we speak. Just a quick shout out for Spy. Did play it out. Turning it back to you guys.
Sweet. Awesome. Let's talk about Doge. Let's get into some Doge. Kick it over here to my chart there, or to my screen. There we go. And we're going to talk about Doge, guys, because there's some things going on about Doge right now that we talked about how speculation drives demand to buy something up, right? So looking here, Doge developer shares important ordinal updates and details. NFTs and DRC20 tokens coming to the Dogecoin, top Dogecoin wallet. The Dogecoin blockchain is evolving at a very fast pace, and this is showcased by the latest update from top ecosystem developer Alex, known on X as My Doge CTO. According to Alex, the meme coin's dominant non-custodial wallet, My Doge wallet, is set to support doginals or doginals. Not sure how you would pronounce that one. Probably doginals. And DRC20 token standards. These innovations will build on the legacy of Bitcoin, which is now thriving based on the influx of ordinals and inscriptions in general, with doginals serving as the ordinal resident on Dogecoin. Developers and members of the Doge ecosystem are on track to join the meme coin revolution. We'll leave it there for now because you guys get the idea about the DRC20. It's pretty much everything. Let's go back to Tricam. It's pretty much everything that we've seen happen with Bitcoin. Because if you guys don't know, Doge is literally built like Bitcoin without the market cap. So we're going to be seeing these doginals and DRC20s, which means things can be built on it. This is building, in my opinion, some serious legitimacy to what Doge is beyond being a meme coin. And we might actually see some speculation coming in on Doge. On top of that, at the end of the day, it still is a meme coin, and it's one of the most well-known meme coins out there. So we could actually see some really big buying pressure coming into Doge. Let's talk about this for a second, and then TradeFly or OC Guy, if one of you guys want to pull up that Doge chart, and we'll take a look at it and just see where we are right now, and if it is something that is worth getting into at this time with this type of information coming out. OC, we'll go with you first, talking about doginals and DRC20s. Is this a big deal, or is this just noise in the spectrum of the crypto space?
All right, I want to say that it's noise. And inside my core, I do believe that is noise. But also, we've learned that Doge doesn't also. It's just speculation. It has a solid base followers, especially because of their CEO, right? The CEO kind of like it's a very well positioned man that drive masses along the way, including me, because I move where the money moves, and this guy can move money. Do I like it? No, but I would refuse an extra buck? Absolutely not. So based on that, on a fundamental analysis, on speculation, I think this is bullish. I do believe that we're going to have a big pullback just because of the way that Dogecoin works. But for the upcoming future, I think this is going to be good for Dogecoin. And I am holding a little bit of a Doge.
Nice. TradeFly, what you got?
I'll say I have the opposite opinion of OC, to be honest with you. Everyone still says Doge is a meme coin. It started that way, but you guys need to understand the history of Doge. It started to be funny. It started to be a meme coin. Then they realized, oh, hold on. People are like flooding to this, and it had a huge like community, and people just loved it. And they're like, hold on, we need to try to make this into something real and tangible and actually have some utility. Guys, you can buy things with Doge. Like, that's real. Like, you can use it to transact with right now. That, my friends, is called utility. You do not see that with most meme coins. So when are we having a discussion that this may no longer truly just be a meme coin? Now, if you're adding to it, you're continuing to build on that project or that platform, which that's what it sounds like they're doing. Look at what this capability has done to Bitcoin with the ordinals. it has increased the transaction rates, which has actually increased the capability for the miners to continue to make money, which we didn't actually see coming prior to the halving. So just understand, like, there's a lot of factors that go into this, and that makes me more bullish on Doge. I'm going to be point blank about that. I think Doge has been pretty suppressed throughout this move. I don't think that Doge has really caught up with everyone yet. I think at some point there's going to be a little bit of a move back to Doge. And I think it's just a matter of time before you see that money start to transition or turn back once people get sick of some of these other meme coins.
Yeah. Do one of you guys have the chart up, or do you want me to go off of my chart?
You can go. You can go with it. I have it up.
How are you?
Really look at it, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. I think you said pull up my chart. I wasn't sure both of you were.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and pull up my chart, ZTS. There we go. Looking at Dogecoin here, guys, on the daily right now, we did get a nice bounce on the dynamic reactor. Shout out to Chart Prime, man. They kill it with this dynamic reactor. We had a perfect rejection here for several days. 1, 2, 3, 4 days total out of a week that we rejected on the 50. You guys know, I typically say that is bearish, right? We got a rejection off of it from the underside. But we are now starting to pull up and finding support on the 382, looking like it could make another run. We also look like we could be getting a bounce here at the 0 line, but this does have the potential, if I bring this up here, to be a duck head and maybe another continuation. Just be really careful at the current price. However, if I had to go off of fundamental news that we just got on Doge, and look at this chart on the daily scene that we are getting the bounce here area of the 0 line for the Oscillator Pro, and then getting green candles on the RSI primed and making another run here. I do think we're going to come back and retest that 50. If we break through that 50%, guys, I want to show you something. If I take this and I go from a previous range, let me isolate this chart off. I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to hide because you can see here, I just want to point this out. We're pulling from the high to this low. But if I go in and I turn off this fib here and we go and we grab another fib and we go from the low to the high, where was it at? Right there. From there up to there. And we go from this previous low to high here to here. We had a couple of things happen. We had a lot of rejection on the golden pocket. We came back to create a double bottom, which is a classic bullish thing to do. And then on top of that, we got a nice bounce in the platinum pocket. We bounced off of that 786 and are back into the golden pocket attempting to come up. If we look at this from a little bit earlier fib perspective, we are set to go to the higher levels here based on support of the golden pocket. So whether we are looking at this from the perspective of the previous fibs or from the current fibs, we are showing that double bottom move. And on this first one, we have support from the golden pocket and the platinum pocket, showing that we found support to bounce off of. But if we look at the most recent ones from this top to this bottom, we are now showing targets from the golden pocket and the platinum pocket. It's all dependent upon this 50% line. If we get past 17.4 cents on our Doge movement, and we find a retest of support on that 50 right in this range here, guys, I would be looking at us heading to the golden pocket and then possibly the platinum pocket. And with the sentiment coming off of that news, does make me a little bullish on it. Matter of fact, it makes me bullish enough. Go back to TriCam. It does make me bullish enough to say that Doge might be the token to buy for the giveaway tomorrow for the members.
Ooh,
just saying.
Let that sink in.
It could be the one that has the next nice rally as the classic meme resurgence of Doge happens among all the meme plays right now. So,
all right. I'm gonna put that in the old portfolio tomorrow. It has been decided,
guys. There you go, guys. Let me know in the chat. Would you guys be down for tomorrow's members giveaway? For those that don't know, the memberships here on YouTube, the cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, you guys get some. The members get some things over in the Discord that not everyone gets, and then also we do a monthly giveaway where we give away things like $100 in tokens, sometimes $200 in tokens, or $100 in tokens and a free month of Chart Prime. So you guys can get over there and check that out. And here soon, we're going to be giving away some In and Out crypto clothing. So,
Nice.
guys, let us know. We will talk about that here in the chat, though. Guys, let us know. Do you want Doge tomorrow, or would you rather it be something like Brett? I don't know. You guys, let me know what you would like him to give away. It's your giveaway. Tradefly OC. Oh, Alexander G gifted 1 Piper membership. Can I get the air horn, please? It went to Reggie Classics. Awesome.
Doubled it up.
Double air horns. We got a giveaway from Alexander G, which is awesome. And then it went to one of our longest running members here in the community. It would be Reggie Classics. He's been with me for a long time, since way back on Chart Prime time show. So he's been around for a hot minute.
This is Reggie's day, man. He gets a nice little shout out. He gets gifted a membership. Dang, bro.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Love you guys. Much love. And now, Reggie, you are now eligible for tomorrow's giveaway. So I do have to give a caveat, guys. Crux is the one that manages my list of all the members. And if you're higher member level, like your Magna Cum, Summa Cum, you get extra spots, stuff like that, and how long you've been in the Discord, you get extra spots. He's the one that does my whole list. I'm not sure. Crux, let me know if you're going to be able to have that list ready for tomorrow morning. If not, it will be next Friday. But you guys, we will do this giveaway this month. Crypto Pollo dropping a free membership, also gifting an Academy membership, and that went to Caffeinated Crypto. So shout out, welcome Caffeinated Crypto to the alumni, and shout out to you, Crypto Pollo. Cluck right there. That's repping. Right,
Giver's game, baby.
Right there.
Giver's game. Love it.
All right, let's get into some altcoins, guys. We got about 22 minutes here, and I've got that article that to talk about with Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we'll make that article real quick, guys. Let's get into some altcoins. Tradefly, we'll start with you. What are you watching on your charts right now? What big alts are giving you some fun times?
So I'm gonna make a little bit of a transition here. So I have the DXY up. We haven't really talked about that too much today, and look at this consolidation score sitting at a 9 on the daily. And then you zoom out, you look at it on the daily, and it's so clear, like the highs and the lows here. It's wild. But it looks like it's trending down a little bit. We're just now getting under the dynamic reactor. Take note of that. Reason being is, there is a loose inverse relationship. If we continue this downside movement, what does that do? Well, that potentially opens up the door for Bitcoin to continue its movement to the upside. And that would kind of fall in line with a lot of the analysis that we've been talking about. That's where the liquidity is. Piper thinks it's going 74K. OC thinks it's going to 500K. So, keep an eye on that. But I'm going to go over to Matic. I haven't talked about Matic in a while, so I should be able to pick up on this one. Captain Jack Matic at your service, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's being suppressed, man. I'm still waiting for the SEC to let go of all these securities. I don't even know if allegations is the right word, but somebody was asking me, like, why isn't Matic really moving like some of the rest of the altcoins? And I think that has a lot to do with it, because it was specifically named, and I think Cardano was as well, it was specifically named as a security, and it was removed from Robinhood. That hurts. But there's still a lot of deals in place. I went back and double checked it, and I mean, Starbucks, I mean, the list it goes on and on and on. I highly recommend you guys look at that just to see the deals that are in place, right? Because Matic, Polygon is going to help those companies with their blockchain technology. So, that's why I was so bullish for so long with Matic. But, at some point, you got to just move with the market, right? If you have something that's being suppressed due to the SEC, you got to look in other places. So, I'm not saying that you should go all in on Matic, but where it's at right now is a nice little price point. 72 cents is not bad. If you go back and start looking about, where was Matic, it got as high as 2.9. All right, $2.92 is pretty close to its all-time high. So right now, looking at it, we had a nice bullish structure, but it did fall out, and that was kind of my concern. There was this trend, and I was like, hey, if it falls out, it could be a pretty harsh drop. It was probably a more harsh drop than I would have anticipated, to be perfectly transparent with you. But we did get some price action off of the platinum pocket, and Piper talks about that area quite a bit. That's one of his big areas that he keeps an eye on that I think a lot of people should pay more attention to. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're sitting over top the platinum pocket. We found a little bit of a range. You can see consolidation score sitting at a 9, and then you have the golden pocket. So you can see right here, I've done some previous analysis. What am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for it to break through the golden pocket, and that's going to signify to us that we're having a reversal and trend. All right, which it looks like it's fighting to do right now. You see a series of higher lows, but then you see this right here is kind of a horizontal level of resistance. So you're building pressure to the upside. So this is in play. We got the dynamic reactor, the golden pocket. We break through that, and then you could see that continuation to the upside. So keep an eye on it. You have a clear support area at around 66 cents. And then 77 cents, so about 80 cents is your area to watch. You're probably going to see initial rejection since we've seen it a few times already. But once it breaks through, that's when you say, hey, let me start taking a look at this, because we want to see the OC retest here. And then it could be making a move to the upside. So there's a couple numbers for you to look at. And then Crypto Pollo, let's see what he's got to say here. You have a daily head and shoulders on the DXY. Let's go back to that and actually look at it. See what you're talking about here. I will be perfectly transparent with you. Head and shoulders, you are right. I can see it right here. So right here where the circle is, head, shoulder. I don't get too excited about head and shoulders, to be honest with you. But one of the things I do like to look for,
as people think.
yeah, one of the things that I do look for, and I will say, it's just an observation, take it for what it's worth. But one of the things that I've noticed that this has statistically, it'll play out a little more often when you see this shoulder right here higher than this shoulder right here. So you'll see this hump a little bit higher, the shoulder, head, and then you'll see this one a little bit lower. That to me is your indication for weakness. All right. So that's the one that I pay attention to. This is the one that gets me a little bit more excited. This is not the case here. These are essentially just even, right? But again, it's the DXY, man. Like, people aren't really paying attention to the DXY for head and shoulders. I don't know that, it will play out, but you could. And the reason I say this could play out just in this instance is because you have this area of support right here about 102. And that would, if you're going from the neckline, move this up. Let me see. Let me get out of this real quick. Let me see if I can move it. Yeah. So if you go up, that's about roughly about the same, right? So, you know what? I just jacked that up because I went higher on it. So it's really actually right here. So it would go down to about right there. There you go. So this needs to move down. Oh, see, everything's just jacked now. See what you did to me, Polio? All right, there you go. There's your neckline.
All jacked up.
So yeah, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. But yeah, it could play out. Like, and one of the things that I tie with the head and shoulders is always find an area of support. This is an area right here. You can see it. All you got to do is, like, once you draw your line, that's one thing I highly recommend to people is just draw the line. Draw the line, put a horizontal line, and then you can like move it around and be like, hey, where's this lining up with support and resistance? Like right here, you can see it because there's a line right here. There we go. Like, I see that right there. And why do I see it? Look, boom, boom. Then, not perfect, but right here, you got support, you got support and resistance, you got support. So like, that's when I start like getting excited about an area. So 102 definitely in play for the DXY. And that was super long-winded. Good point out, good call out there, Polio. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to the next guy.
Yeah, I got a double shout out to Dave Digital. He said, TradeFly, I need a ride to and from Bitcoin Nashville. We have a small airport here in Baytown. When are you going to pick him up? He wants to know that question. And then also Dave Digital said, head and shoulders are only reliable on momentum waves and money flow as per Crypto Face. And that's what I've seen a lot too. If you can do it on your oscillators, that typically plays out way more than the candlesticks themselves for head and shoulders. So before we go any further, because we got about 11 minutes, I do want to, and this is going to tie into what you just said, jump over to my screen, ZTS. And then this is actually in line with what you just said about it being removed from Robinhood because of SEC and so on and so forth. Guys, Robinhood just acquired crypto exchange Bitstamp for $200 million. And this is, I'm going to read this real fast, but they announced its plan to acquire the UK-based crypto currency exchange Bitstamp for $200 million in cash. The strategic move aims to enhance Robinhood's global crypto presence and attract institutional clients. The acquisition is expected to be finalized in the first half of 2025. Jump back to Trio Cam, and I want to point out something. This may not have a big effect right now, but if you look at Bitstamp, guys, they've been around since 2011. They started U.S. services in 2019. They've never had a single SEC charge or claim or anything filed against them ever. And they have a lot of altcoins. This could be a move where Robinhood goes, look, you guys have never said anything to these guys, and they've been operating here for a while. They've made several changes to meet U.S. regulation. This is where we're going to model our altcoin offerings from, and it could see Matic move back into things and be available. Excuse me.
Well, I mean,
and
they don't
be
have to
available.
look any further than Coinbase. Like,
True.
just look at
Very true.
Coinbase listings, and if they're not getting smacked around, you should be good to go to list those tokens again. I mean, that's just
I
my
agree.
personal opinion.
I agree. Let's kick it over to OC guy. OC, show us what you're looking at on your altcoins there on the chart, and then I'll let you guys run back and forth until I bring up this Rich Dad Poor Dad Robert Kiyosaki article saying $350,000 Bitcoin by August. So let's go, OC. What you got for us, bro?
So a little Easter egg. Go back to the video and watch the tabs that I just closed. That should be a little bit funny. Other than that, I do have a little comment here. For me, it's a pretty sad day that Robinhood is acquiring Bitstamp. I don't like that, but also I would need to to suck it up. But yeah, whatever. We'll see that we have a Luvium for CryptoPollo. He says that he sees a breakout. I'm on a 15-minute chart, and I do see a symmetrical triangle here that is building up onto a bullish pennant. Usually it is estimated on a breakout, but for me, I have a much more success measuring from the bottom. So as you can see, his breakout, it's at 99 exactly. And if I measure from the bottom, that breakout, it is basically perfectly met, and that is 2 and base of the previous highs. Also, if we start using our indicators in here, we'll see that we have a ton of support right down here, which also creates a little of a channel right down here. There we go, a little channel in here that makes for a good entry. So if you're looking for an entry, this is not financial advice, but this is a good opportunity to start looking for a possible entry as we flip up. Why? Because we are still within the red on the 15 minutes in here, right? Also, something important to note, it is the resistance in here. It's a low over resistance already. We have been draining the volume out of it. So basically, their bulls are running out of momentum at that area. Again, we need to look for the flip of the ribbon on the oscillator. Let's go to the 4 hours very quickly and then remove everything that I got in here. And on the 4 hours, seems like we do have that flip of the ribbon playing out, and we have the same kind of like a reaction in here with this liquidity zone where our bullish are winning this area. So we could be expecting a little pullback in here and a continuation to the upside. So something just to note, it is that I don't see any actual pattern being built up other than this trend line. But for me, this trend line might be a little bit, I don't know, too loose. And I do expect not to reach all the way down on maybe a pullback unless we do see that break below the zero line on Illuvium. So areas of entry, a possible area for entry on the 15 minutes, it's going to be 94.47, and on the 4 hours, it's going to be 92.68. Remember to use your stop loss, and this is not financial advice. Turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over to my chart real fast here, and I'm going to take a look at Caspa just to give you guys an update on it. Caspa has now retaken its phase 9 golden pocket and has proven it as support with multiple tests here. You can see it did pump up almost perfectly to that phase 10 golden pocket at 19.4 cents, retraced back down and closed a candle body on the daily on that phase 9 golden pocket. If we drop this over to a 4 hour and take a look, you can see how strong this fib line is. That is coming in at 17.8 cents, guys. I am watching to see if we come down and just let this cool off while we're holding price. This is consolidation at that point. While everything is cooling off, this could be a really good point for us to get another push, enough to break through phase 10. That's what I'm watching for on CASPA. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly, see what you got there. We'll get into one more TA, then we'll talk about Robert Kiyosaki, wrap this show up, and then go raid Randy Hipper's house.
Right on, right on. So looking at Sol on the 4 hours, couple areas that we've talked about previously, but one of that I want to point out to you, right? So this area right here, the 382, I remember talking about that. I remember saying, hey, it comes up, retest, do the OC retest, right? Well, that's almost exactly what we got. So resistance here, let's go ahead and draw it. So you had resistance, broke through, did the OC retest, and now it's starting to move back up. So it did actually come down, but it didn't actually go all the way down. But this is your entry right here. So let's go ahead and take that off. This right here would have been the primo setup. So you come down, right? You retest what was resistance. You retest it, flip it as support. You also had the dynamic reactor. So remember, I always like to look for that confluence. All right. So you got a trend line going up. You got the dynamic reactor going up, and you had the 382 all lining up in one area. So full transparency, not a play that I took. If I would have seen it, I probably would have, but it's hard to keep track of all these tokens at once. But it's always important to go back and validate, some of the strategies that you use or you talk about. And this is one of them, right? You break the resistance, come down, retest as support, and then you're looking for a confluence, right? So primo setup right here, you come down to the prime oscillator, you see the divergence as well. You got that hit right there, green line. That's showing you divergence. So you're basically seeing that trend go up and right on the RSI. If you guys don't have the prime oscillator, you can actually use RSI primed. You'll probably see something very similar, or you can just use traditional RSI and you'll probably see something similar as well. So that was kind of the entry. All right. So now where do we go from here? Well, I remember talking about this area as well. So this is why I like to leave the fixed range volume profiles on. Now, the way I draw them, just for your essay, is I do it in the range. So once it breaks out, that's where it ends for me. But what I'll do is I'll take these lines and I'll extend them, right? I'll leave them up. And that way we'll see how it interacts, right? You can see, look at this. The value area low of the previous range here was resistance. You can see it tested it over and over again. We've now broken that. So now we're looking to flip what was resistance, get back into that previous range and use it as support. So there's an opportunity right now for Sol. Keep an eye on this area at 170 as an area of support, but there's an opportunity for it to now move up to the previous point of control at about 182. So there's a couple numbers for you guys to look at, and that's what I got for Sol.
Sweet. Let's kick it over. Let's go over this article, guys. Rich Dad, Poor Dad Arthur. Robert Kiyosaki has made a stunning prediction on Bitcoin. Let's go down and see what he says here. He believes that Bitcoin price could reach $350,000 in August of this year, guys. This year. We're talking a couple of months away from now. The American author, known for the Rich Dad, Poor Dad personal finance book series, has stunned the cryptocurrency community with his latest call on Bitcoin. He predicted that the price of the leading cryptocurrency would be $350,000 by mid-August. It's the prediction. It's speculation. It's an opinion, but it's not a lie. It's sucker's bait, but it's not a lie, because any prediction about the future is not a lie. The American businessman is certain that Bitcoin will keep rising alongside Ethereum and Solana. Honestly, I think it will lead the growth of Ethereum and Solana. But Kiyosaki followers were puzzled by the recent price target, considering that Bitcoin is currently about $71,000. His uber bullish prediction for it to materialize, some things would need to happen. The flagship cryptocurrency would need to surge 392% within the next 2 months, despite the recent excitement surrounding surging Bitcoin ETF inflows. Such a scenario appears to be highly unlikely. Let's jump over to Trio Cam. Let's talk this out. He's right. You can speculate all day long. And the reason that I wanted to bring this article up, yes, it is a absolutely insane, which is what I said on the thing, insane Bitcoin price prediction. But guys, this is what moves markets. Stuff like this right here. This causes people to get bullish because they don't look into it. They don't read. And it's really, really easy for someone to give you a crazy, stupid, astronomical number to make everyone buy. and then they make money off of it because obviously they invest in it as the news comes out. We're seeing this with a company called Kurzweil Financials. I literally just did research on this company yesterday. They're going after Riot Mining right now, talking about that they're going to file this report with Texas and this report with Texas and how much Carousel, that's what it's called. They went after MicroStrategies previously before. They went after Altimmune for their weight loss drug, Carvana. And all they're doing is shorting the market against their info that they're putting out. You guys have got to be careful in the world of news when you see things like this that just don't seem on point, seem a little bit off. Do a little bit of research and do a little bit of structured digging into something like that, or maybe even hit Crux of Crypto up and go, hey, what do you think of this? Is this crazy or not? Because at the end of the day, guys, people out there are going to throw crazy numbers around, and we're going to hear it for the next year and a half. That's why we try to buffer as much as we can on the stuff, guys. But yes, I wanted to bring this news article up because he literally says in there, after saying $350,000, it's not a lie. It's speculation. It's an opinion. And you guys should not be investing based on opinions. And you shouldn't be investing into things based on some crazy news articles headline. Do your research and join us here every day on Piper Academy, because we will dig in to find out the likelihood or the validity and bias that is present in a lot of these articles and from these people. So that was the point of today. Lesson learned. Today's will and morality lesson to be learned is do your research, guys. Don't read a headline. So TradeFly OC, if you have any wrap up comments on that before we get out of here, go ahead and drop them. But what do you got?
Yeah, my man wrote one good book, and he's been out to lunch ever since. So I've seen quite a few predictions from Homeboy that have been just banana land. However, he is pro crypto, so mixed emotions there. But hey, man, keep pumping the price for everyone else, whatever. But hey, it's great mixing it up with y'all. Today was actually a lot of fun, man. I enjoyed today's show. As always, love seeing you guys in the chat. And I'll be looking forward to doing this again tomorrow and send you guys off into the weekend. So with that, I'll push it over to OC for the outro.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks so much for joining. A quick reminder to hit that like button, because if you do, you will not have to refill your blinker fluid for one more week. Also, guys, for everybody in the chat, if you're a man, just a quick reminder: send flower to your woman. They love it. It doesn't say it. It says, I care about you. And if you're a girl and you want to say it, I care about you for your man, make sure you give him a 10mm socket. Those suckers always go away. I don't know. Maybe a Lucius take it or something like that. But other than that, guys, good reminder. Click that like button and your blinker fluid won't have to be replaced for the next year or so.
Sweet. Love it. All right, guys, we're going to be back here Monday morning with the TA, with the news, with the articles in preparation for FOMC next week. But tomorrow morning, join us right here, Friday morning, Friday episode. We've got unemployment tomorrow, guys. It is the number we've been waiting for all week long. We have pumped this week off of the job numbers, just like we talked about on Monday. So make sure you don't miss out tomorrow as we break down what happened. What the hell happened with unemployment in America? So, guys, till then, trade safe. As always, use a stop loss, and let's go raid Randy Hipper. Let's get it.
Get it.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels flow low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it.
Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.